The Shadow of the Past. The second disappearance of Bilbo Baggins is discussed in the Shire for a year and a day. The new master of Bag End, Frodo Baggins, carries on Bilbo's penchant for oddity. Frodo roams all over the Shire through the forests and the woodlands, often seen after dark walking in the forest. He does this often alone, but also often with his friends, including Meriadoc Merry Brandybuck, Peregrine Pippin Took, Fredegar Fatty Bulger, and Folco Boffin. Years pass. During this time, news of strange events stirring in Middle-earth reach the ears of the Shire folk. Samwise Gamgee, another of Frodo's friends, and the youngest son of the gardener of Bag End, Handfast Gaffer Gamgee. Sam hears from his cousin Hal that an Ent was seen on the North Moors. That's just one of the strange events. Others include more frequent sightings of elves crossing through the Shire heading west to the Grey Havens. Dwarves are abroad in greater numbers as well. And a rumor also spreads that the evil power, driven out of Mirkwood by the White Council, has reappeared in Mordor and rebuilt the Dark Tower. Orcs, trolls, and worse multiply. So in this way, many years pass since the birthday party, Frodo's 33rd, Bilbo's 111th. So 3 years pass in this manner, during which time Gandalf doesn't visit the Shire. Then Gandalf visits very frequently for the next year or two. And then 9 whole years pass, much in the same way as I've described before, during which Gandalf never visits. Finally, in the year 1418, by Shire reckoning, the spring before Frodo's 50th birthday, in the spring, all of a sudden, Gandalf shows up. He visits Frodo, and they have a very important conversation. So Gandalf, they go over a lot of backstory that's important for the larger tale that is to come. First, Gandalf, he tells Frodo of the origins and the forging of the great rings of power. Then they take Frodo's ring and they test it. They throw it into Frodo's fireplace, and they see that it is undamaged, in fact not even heated, and they see the inscription written around the rim of it, confirming that this ring is in fact the one ring, the master ring, the ruling ring, the one ring to rule them all. So now Gandalf tells more of the story of the ring. He discusses the resurgence of Sauron, and then he goes back to the beginning of the ring's biography, so to speak. He tells Frodo about the great battle of the Last Alliance with Gil-galad and Elendil. He speaks of Isildur's pride and folly, of the ring's long disappearance, and finally of the ring's rediscovery by Déagol and Sméagol, and finally Sméagol's descent into the creature Gollum. Gandalf tells Frodo how he found out all this information, or fills in the gaps in his knowledge. Gandalf describes how he tracked Gollum who tracked Bilbo after Bilbo found the ring in Moria. That strangest of events in the history of the ring is related by Gandalf to Frodo in more detail than Frodo had previously heard from Bilbo. And Gandalf tells how Gollum then tracked Frodo for a while towards the Lonely Mountain, but then eventually how Gollum went to Mordor. And in this way, Sauron learned that the ring was not destroyed, as he had long feared. And it is also from Gollum that Sauron heard of the Shire and of hobbits, and especially of the name Baggins. So, then Gollum eventually escaped from Mordor and was captured, Gandalf says, by Aragorn and Gandalf. And Gollum's now imprisoned in Mirkwood. So this is how Gandalf came to know some of these latest updating facts about the story of the ring. So then Gandalf and Frodo, they see the gravity of of this ring and what it means. And Frodo, fearful of it all, offers the ring to Gandalf. But Gandalf doesn't succumb to the temptation, and he refuses the ring. So they resolve that the ring cannot stay in the Shire. It is not safe. So at this moment, Frodo and Gandalf especially notice some rustling outside the window of Bag End during their discussion, and they find that Samwise, who was heard snipping away in the garden earlier, has been eavesdropping. So they haul Sam into the room, and they all have a talk, and they agree that Sam will accompany Frodo on his quest to destroy the ring.